everyone, James Limerick Kerr here, and today we're going to be talking about scales and the best way to practice your scales. And that is by integrating rhythm practice into your scale practice, practicing the scales with different rhythmic subdivisions, which we'll get to, quarters, eighths, triplets, and sixteenths, which I find to be so effective for improving your playing, improving your timing and your rhythm while you work on your scales and learning the keys. So this lesson will be intended to supplement my guitar textbook, 21st Century Guidebook for Guitarists, Practice, Performance, and Teaching, which will be available down below in the description. And that's the textbook that I used with all my college guitar students. Really a comprehensive approach to learning the instrument with a lot of information as well about performance and teaching paths as well. So you can check that out. But today, we're going to be talking about scales. So when you're learning your scales, you're really learning the keys. And then we're working on our tone, we're working on our speed, and then we're working on rhythm, which is really what we're focusing on today. So if you practice your scales with the different rhythmic subdivisions, you're working on your internal pulse, your timing, which is absolutely fundamental to us as musicians, instrumentalists. So first off, the first scale we'll take a look at today, let's look at just an E minor pentatonic scale with open strings. So an open position E minor pentatonic scale. And I would recommend using a metronome. So have a metronome be your practice buddy. For now, we're going to set it about 40 beats per minute. And then the first thing we'll do is just play the scale up and down, ascending and descending. Always practice your scales ascending and descending evenly. And it may take you, if the scale is totally new for you, to, a couple days to work out the fingering. But we're going to be assuming here that you already have some familiarity with the scale we're talking about, and then we're talking about how to practice the scales in this video. So this one, E minor pentatonic, one of the basic scales using open strings. So I'll start out playing it in quarter notes. So I'll set this metronome for now about 40 beats per minute, and then we'll consider that to be our quarter note pulse. So one note per click. 1, 2, 3, 4. So these are quarters. Right on the beat, nice and even. So don't try to go too fast yet, just nice even quarter notes. And it may take you a day or two to just get the quarter notes down, or even a week. You could just spend just on the quarter notes. But then assuming you've solidified that and you feel comfortable going up and down and steady quarter notes at this tempo, then we go on to eighth notes, which is 2 notes per click. So that sounds like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... notes per click. And you could also practice that 2 picks on each note, which is a little easier at first maybe. So that would be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So they're exactly twice as fast as your quarter notes. I'm going index middle with my right hand for now doing this, but you can eventually do different combinations. Thumb, index middle. I do a lot of thumb, index, middle in my scale playing. And then, of course, if you're using a pick, I'm a big believer in having your down and up strokes reflect the beat. So it's not arbitrary which direction you go. You want the down beats, which are the notes that are on the beat. 1, 2, those are down beats. 3, 4, and then up beats are the 8 notes in between. 1 and 2, and so I want my pick to be mirroring that with the rhythm. Down, up, down, up, down, up. That way you're really feeling the beat in the pick. Your picking is connected to the beat. So have your downstrokes on the downbeat. So those are 8 notes, and then so that may take you a little while to get down. I'm also tapping my foot. I'm a big believer in foot tapping, so I'll have my foot going with the click this whole time. I'm tapping right on the quarter note the whole time. So don't let your foot follow what you're playing or the different subdivisions. Keep your foot anchored on the quarter note. And then, like I say, it may take you a couple weeks to get down the 8 notes comfortably, but once you're solid on those at this tempo, and this is, a slow tempo for now, then we can go on to triplets, which is a little harder. That would be 3 notes per beat. So you start with speaking them, which would sound like triplet, 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 triplet. So I always speak the rhythm, really have it clear in your ears before you start playing, so you don't figure it out a few notes in or a few bars in. Have it clear before you start. Speak it out loud. Triplet, triplet, while I tap my foot on the quarter note. Triplet, triplet, triplet. And then try it. Triplet, 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 triplet. Triplet. And you can actually just go up to the E on the first string. I went up to the G, I realized the last couple times, but you can just go up to the root or the tonic, which in this case is an E. And then, so that was 3 picks on each note in the scale. And then a little bit harder is to go up and down the scale in triplets, which would sound like triplet, triplet, triplet. That, so triplet, triplet, triplet. So I'm really ingraining the sound and the feel of these subdivisions in my ears and in my playing if I practice my scales this way. So you're learning the keys, you're learning the notes in that particular scale, but you're ingraining the feel and the sound of these rhythms at the same time, simultaneously. So super effective. And then I would go on to 16ths. And if you can't go all the way up and down the entire scale, if we go back to 8 notes for a second, just loop the first beat one at a time. So it'd be... So this is 8 notes. 1 and 2. Just repeat that until it feels easy. 1 and 2. 1 and 2. And then add another beat. 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3. Until you can go, just keep adding one beat at a time until you can go all the way up and down the scale. So whatever different subdivision you're getting stuck on, if it's triplets, triplet 2, triplet 2, just loop it until it feels easy. And then add another beat. Triplet, 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 until you can go all the way up and down the scale. That's much more effective than being out of time and kind of stumbling. And so you're only practicing in that case what you can actually do in good rhythm. Just stack it up one beat at a time so it stays rhythmically locked in, rather than having the whole scale which I always see students doing, is just kind of playing it out of time. They might be getting the right notes, but it's not locked right into the rhythmic feel. All right, so that was triplets, and then sixteenths. And again, it may take a whole week or so to get that one down, but this is the progression. You can see what the way that you can work on your scales long term. So if I've already got the triplets down, then I can go on to sixteenths, which might actually be a little easier because we're more familiar with 2s and 4s, even numbers. So sixteenths, if we speak it first again, 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4. So that would be how we subdivide the beat. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and if we start it easy, just 4 on each note. 1 E and 2 E and 1 E and going up 2 octaves. And then I want to be able to sing any of the scales I'm playing. That's related to scale practice. So ba, da, 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 da. I want to have the sound of the scale, right? Pentatonic scales have 5 different notes. Do, 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 do. 5 different notes. Do, 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 do. I can't sing the low E, so I'm singing it up an octave. Bom, 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 bom. Doesn't matter how good the singing is, but sing it out loud. You don't have to be a singer, but that's the best way to internalize the sound of the scale in your ears. Sing it out loud. So let's do it for one more scale here. This is still 40 beats per minute. Let's go on to G major scale. With closed position. So this one would be no open strings. So you can find this in the textbook as well. And you'll see the example here. So this is G major. You should know the notes in any scale that you're playing. So you're not just using visual memory. So in this case, G major has 1 sharp, has an F sharp. So the notes are G, A, B, C, D, F sharp, G, and then we're doing the same scale up an octave, so we'll go 2 octaves. So let's try it with quarter notes. 3, 4, foot tapping. B on the 5th string, C, D, E on the 4th string, G, and then another octave, A on the 3rd string, D on the 2nd string, F sharp on the 1st, G, back down. Here's our root, tonic, 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, root. And then once that's easy, I go on to 8 notes. 7th root, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 7th root, 7th, 6th, 5th, 4th. So the sound of the scales is in my ear. And then triplets. Triplet, triplet, triplet. That's 3 on each note, or you could eventually go triplet, triplet, triplet. With my foot tapping. So you're really feeling where the downbeat is. My foot stays on the quarter note. And then 16th note. 1 E and 2 E and There's a little behind on that one. 1 E and 2 E and There's whatever scale you're working on, practice it in this manner. So you're getting beyond just visual memorizing. There's too much of that with guitar players. Think about the notes in the key when you're playing. The scale is really playing the notes in the key one at a time. So it's all the notes you have to work with in that key. I make the analogy like the template of notes that you have to work with to create phrases, which is what actual music is comprised of. The scale in itself is not music or a solo, but it's teaching you all the notes you have to work with in that key to then create melodies and phrases out of. So you spend some of your practice time on the scales and you're working on all those different things simultaneously. So effective. And then get on to your actual music. So if this video was helpful for you, definitely hit the subscribe. There's going to be a lot of other lesson videos like this that supplement my guitar textbook, which I urge you to check out. Again, it's down in the description, a 21st century guidebook for guitarists. And I'll see you soon. All right, thanks for watching.